Good morning and welcome to this session on gender and STEAM. I am Rita Bencivenga, a member of the Ulysseus team at the University of Genoa, Italy, and it is my pleasure to coordinate today this event. Three speakers will discuss their experience in developing approaches and strategies to progress towards gender equality, respect of diversity, and inclusion for all. And through videos and description of best practices, they will show positive examples. Mauro Coccoli from Dibris, Department of Informatics, Bioengineering, Robotics and Systems Engineering at UNIGE, University of Genoa in Italy, will show a short video about the NERD project and will tell us his positive experience in this interesting initiative. Susana Gaytan from the Physiology Department, Faculty of Biology, University of Seville in Spain, will show a video titled No More Matildas, and she will tell us a lot of other interesting things about gender and STEM. And Martina Zeleňáková, Department of Environmental Engineering of the Technical University of Košice in Slovakia. We speak about her research, her passion for science, and she will also show a video where a colleague tells us something about her experience as a female scientist. Altogether, then, we'll speak about how to integrate a sex and gender dimension in research and training activities, how to promote the respect of gender balance and diversity in research teams, and how to move from an outdated fixed women perspective to an intersectional approach, respecting the multifaceted concepts of diversity and inclusion. In this way, we hope to open a debate on relevant topics, such as the importance of adopting the sex-gender approach in research, the advantages for citizens of a more balanced and diverse approach to science, and the difficulties in promoting organizational change in academia. To conclude the session, we'll show a 2-minute video focused on women in science. In this video, students, researchers, and professors at Ulysseus University describe their interest in science. If you have questions to ask along the session, you can write your questions in the chat or raise your hands. And as soon as there is a small stop in between a video or a presentation, we'll listen to your question. So let's start. And Mauro Coccoli, I give you the floor.
Okay, thank you, Rita. I share my screen. Hi, everybody. On promoting informatics among female high school students, this is what we're doing. We want to promote the study of informatics among girls while they are still attending their secondary school. And my aim is that of having more girls enrolled at my university. I'm joking. No, I'm not joking. We really need more women in engineering, especially. And even if this may seem a short-range objective, the initiative we are carrying on and that I'm going to describe has many significant aspects and covers important topics in overtaking existing gaps to achieve gender equality. So specifically, I'm going to talk about the NERD project. I will tell you everything about NERD in the next minutes, but first let us discuss the framework of this activity, that is the situation of women in STEM. In fact, the goal of the NERD project is that of improving the participation of women in all the STEM careers, including jobs and university studies first. The condition of women in STEM is a challenging topic for the European policies. Specifically, both the European Commission and the European Union consider the mitigation of the gender gap in the research and innovation sectors as one of the founding pillars to reach the goals of equality and social justice more quickly. For what concerns the situation in Italy, we rely our report on the result published by Alma Laurea. Alma Laurea is an inter-university consortium which receives its data from 76 out of 91 Italian universities. So these numbers can be considered representative of the Italian situation in higher education. More precisely, we find that graduate women are a minority in the engineering and scientific groups with respect to men. However, the number of women who graduated in STEM is growing. The comparison with the situation in 2004 shows a strong increment from 3,000 and something to more than 16,000, almost 17. And in addition, we can also observe that women who graduate in STEM do it much better than men. They achieve higher scores and they complete their studies more quickly and on time in most cases. In conclusion, we want more women in STEM and we want to start from their studies. We want to bridge this gap and we think we can do it by trying to stimulate growth in the participation of women in computer engineering degree and in STEM degrees in general. To do this, we start from a convincing orientation at the secondary school so that young girls also consider enrolling in a STEM-oriented degree course but without prejudice. This is the reason why I participate to the NERD project. I will start from an explanation of the name, NERD, and it is always with a question mark. Pay attention, please, because it is important. In fact, we have chosen the name nerd because obviously it's recalling the abused stereotypes in the computer world, but N-E-R-D form the acronym for the Italian non è roba per donne, which means, isn't this stuff for women? And also please note that the pun with nerd in Italian is tricky because the same 5 words, but without the question mark, this is the reason why it is important, mean it is not stuff for women, definitely. It's different from the grammatical point of view. And so we are wondering if isn't this stuff for women really? And the stuff in question is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Of course, we make particular reference to computer science, computer engineering, and informatics in general, because my department is focused on these topics. This is the official NERD image used in the flyers and all the information materials, which is distributed to students. You can see that the claim says, after graduating, choose informatics to change the world. And then informatics, create, design, make, to highlight that computers are tools for creativity. But what makes the NERD initiative so much interesting is that it is promoted by IBM Italy. And you know that IBM is a primary world company in software solutions, no need to say. Floriana Ferrara, which is the girl on the right in this picture, is the founder. And she says, our primary goal is to spread the excitement for computer science with girls in high school. And she is very engaging in this, I can assure. So the project is carried on thanks to the support of more than 100 IBM volunteers, and 12,000 girls in Italy have participated in the past years. And they were all 16 to 18, coming from the 3rd and the 4th year of their high school. The NERD activities take place in many universities since 2013. That was the first edition, which was held at the Tor Vergata University in Rome. And year after year, more and more universities joined the initiative, which is now spread in 17 cities from the north to the south of Italy, within 12 regions out of 20, including our two major islands, Sicily and Sardinia, which you may know for touristic purposes. This is the framework, the organizational framework. And now, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, NERD is online. In fact, last year, the project started in January with a plenary session, some meetings, hands-on lab, as we ever did before. Unfortunately, we could not end the live sessions, but the students' activity kept going on in the cloud, and the final live session have been turned in online meetings, as we are doing now in this moment. Now, in 2021, the edition is completely online and is still running, and we have around 2,500 Italian girls attending from all Italy, not only for my department. But what makes nerds so appealing to girls? They have the opportunity to play with artificial intelligence and to use advanced cognitive computing systems in a very easy and natural way. This is what we offer them. Specifically, the task assigned is that of developing a chatbot. A chatbot is a virtual assistant to help people responding their questions. People today meet chatbots every day in the sites they visit, for mobile telephony, for example, for shopping, for everything. So our students have an idea of what we ask them, and they still don't know that they are able to do something similar. The girls will design and program a chatbot through the Watson Assistant services within the IBM Cloud Platform. This is the importance of the technological partner. And they can choose freely a topic of their interest and design a possible human-machine dialogues. And they see them work really online in minutes. Moreover, the service developed can be shared with friends, and everybody with a link can use it and test it in real time. And it is a very successful topic with young girls, with the young students in general. But we can make also other consideration other than technological, focused on educational methodologies. In fact, from an organizational point of view, we highlight that girls are asked to form small work groups for working together. And then, working in a group, they can test the dynamics that they will find in their jobs, and they will acquire the capability to find their skills. For example, one can be a leader, another one can be very good in organization and control, in management, and so on. Everyone has his own talent. Within a team, they will participate in a peer training process. And this implements the educational model of learning by doing. In practice, the girls acquire new knowledge and skills, making new experiences, and developing, or sometimes even discovering, their inner problem-solving abilities, developing their analytical thinking and also critical thinking skills. And they improve their interpersonal communication capabilities and the ability to interact with the professionals as well as with the professors at the university. Now, in this short video, we can see the NEP girls in action. This is the classroom in 2018. You see me, professor and students. And one very important thing is the presence of testimonial, of women testimonial from the work and the research, which present success stories and show to the girls that they can do it. Maybe they don't believe, but they can do it. This is when we give the awards to the top classified free projects, and they smile. It was impressive that they were all really happy to have done this experience with us. What's next? The results are, in my opinion, and the numbers show it, are quite encouraging. And an immediate future development is foreseen, and it is witnessed by the fact that IBM will make this project international, and the Italian format will be exported with good practices at the European level. And this is almost everything that I wanted to tell you about the NERD. But now, please let me complete this overview of the project with something more. The title of the track, I recall, was STEAM and not STEM, but this is what we have talked about. And to conclude, I would like to give you a panoramic of the digital humanities courses held at my university, which join humanities and the most advanced technologies. In particular, we have a master's degree in digital humanities, communication and new media, offering two different curriculums. One focused on internet and creative digital production, and another one centered on emotions technology, which is more connected to the area of performing arts. Then we also have a PhD program called also Digital Humanities, but technology, arts, languages, culture, and communication. And this is the place where the humanistic and digital worlds are perfectly integrated. And in this world, we investigate new objects, new methodologies, and new languages in a time of 3 years. We have an average of 4 students per year, and every student is a special and novel experience since they come from the most diverse fields, and we tailor specific research projects according to their cultural background. And so I hope in time with this my speech is over. And if I conclude, if I have to conclude, I say that my thought is that girls and computers should approach one to each other without a prejudice or suspicion. So I thank you for your attention, and if there are any questions in the chat, I am available to answer.
Mauro, thank you so much for your speech. And yes, there is a question that is directly related to your speech. So I think you can answer now, and then we move to Susana with the next presentation. So did you see a real impact related to an enhanced enrollment of female students in this domain thanks to this initiative?
Oh, thank you for the question. I can report only a feeling that is a positive one, because my personal opinion with the Dibris University of Genoa started in 2018 with girls from the 3rd year of their high school. So they have not yet concluded their educational path, and they are not yet enrolled in universities. People who have more experience are the University of Rome Tor Vergata, which launched the first edition, and they say they have had a significant increment in enrolling. Moreover, I don't know if I can measure it due to privacy and privacy problem. I cannot compare the names of the girls who participated in arts to the names of the girls enrolled in computer science. What I see is a positive approach. Informatics and computer science is not anymore seen as nerd stuff, but like a cool stuff. Nerds now are geek, and I see in younger girls, which are different from girls of my generation, more interested in computers, and is first of all in all the things they can do. Once computers were done for computing, and that's all, and it was a hidden activity. Now we have computers in our hands every day.
Thank you so much. So our second speaker today is Susana Gaytan, and so I give her the floor. Thank you, Susana.
Thank you, Rita. Good morning to everyone. I'm trying to share my screen. Hello to everyone from Seville. Maybe you are asking about what the reason of our presentation, and we are trying to invite you to join us to a pedagogical initiative, because from Ulysseus campus we want to help shape the European citizen of the future, characterized by their respect to human rights, equality, and inclusiveness. I'm going to tell you about the importance of promoting initiatives that increase the presence of women in science and in technology. Maybe you are asking yourself why it's crucial to get more women into science. And the answer is because data reveals that the world needs more women in STEM. Attracting and retaining women in science requires action urgently in all fronts, because the data are eloquent. And as just an example of this, you can read the data reunited in the European Commission in the document She Figures, that result that the success to science women must overcome subtle biases that favor men. This barrier to success results in the underrepresentation of women in science. In this way, in 1918, almost 50 million scientists and engineers in European Union, 59% were men and 41 women. Men were particularly overrepresented in the manufacturing. 79% of scientists and engineering in manufacturing were male, while the gender ratio in the service sector was more balanced, for 54 male in front of 46 female. The Ulysseus University is committed to the visibility, advancement, and promotion of the career of women in science and feel a strong responsibility to inspire the nurture female vocation in disciplines with STEM. That's the way we strongly believe that it's essential to include all possible measures that help increase the presence of women in all fields in science and technology. Throughout their careers, most women in science report very unpleasant experience about of being looked down upon their colleague, and it's not something new. In fact, that women have been ignored on their names and omitted from the history books without prior reference. Many girls don't even, as the previous speaker said, without prior reference, many girls don't even consider that science and technology are jobs for women. How to solve this? First, listening to the specific and personal experience of women in science, in paramount to achieving gender diversity and equity in science. Effectivity, listen, requires pay attention to understanding, not interrupting, believing, responding to, and remember what she has said. The simple act of listening to women in science promotes their work while acknowledging the barrier they face, validates their experience, and improves their institutional claim. And of course, combating implicit biases against women in science requires an explicit effort to promote women scientists and their work. Women take on the majority of the diversity, equity, and inclusion effort in science at the expense of teaching and research, often without reward. Institutions should recognize, reward, and incentivize diversity, equity, and inclusion effort as a positive contribution in promotion package. And all must be taken as soon as possible, because many children assimilate the idea that brilliance is a male quality at young age, around 6 years old. The stereotype begins to shape children's interest as soon as it is acquired, and is thus likely to narrow the range of careers they will one day contemplate. For this reason, several initiatives in the way to work directly in the school. For example, United Nations is committed to promoting gender equality in and through education system for early childhood to higher education, informal, non-formal, and informal settings, and intervention areas from planning infrastructure to training teachers. This is the idea of an initiative as the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. As you can see, promoting diversity in the science requires all kinds of effort. Large and smart individuals can make some of these changes by being observant of their own attitude and action, and by stepping in to help when they see an opportunity to do so. However, other change require institutional leaders to enhance policies and offer training and resources to promote fair treatment. And in this way, I want to present you the initiative No More Matilda. As most of you know, Matilda effort is a bias against acknowledging the achievement of those women scientists whose work is attributed to their male colleagues. This effort was first described by the suffragist and abolitionist Matilda Gage in her essay, Woman as an Inventor. that she say things like research done by women is significantly undervalued and overlooked in favor of that of men. Nevertheless, the term Matilda effect was coined in 1993 by the science historian Margaret Rossiter. In this document, Rossiter provides several cases illustrating the Matilda effect, include those of Nettie Stevens, Liz Mayner, Marietta Bow, Rosalind Franklin, or Jocelyn Bell Buller. No More Matilda is an initiative promoted by the Spanish Women Research and Technologies Association with the support of the European Parliament Office in Spain and collaboration of Getting Creative Studio, Dos Pasos Agenda, and Communication and Game Studios. Several, they was related with the edition of the video. The idea is shed light over Matilda effect to recognize the invisible achievement of women scientists through the imaginary biographies of Einstein, Fleming, and Schrödinger. The incorporation of women scientists and their achievement into textbook is demanded. And now...
Can you imagine what would have happened if Einstein had been born a woman? We probably wouldn't know who Einstein is today, because the merits of those discoveries would have been taken by a fellow male researcher. This phenomenon, known as the Matilda effect in honor of Matilda Jocelyn Gage, who was the first activist to denounce it, highlights the injustice of systematically ignoring the findings of brilliant women scientists throughout history. Women who fell into oblivion and could not become role models for all those girls whom we have made believe that science is only for men. This is logical if we consider that the female presence in educational materials barely reaches 7.6%, a statistic that perpetuates stereotypes and probably explains why only 28.5% of students that enroll in science degrees are women. This is why we're launching No More Matildas, a movement to bring all these female scientists back where they belong, starting, why not, with textbooks. Because talent has no gender. And to ignore the one that could emerge in young girls who don't choose a science degree because they don't have mirrors in which to see themselves reflected is a cultural legacy that we should stop perpetuating. Join us, share, and help us inspire girls to know that if they want, they can. No More Matildas, an initiative of the Spanish Association of Women Researchers and Technologists.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. And we will discuss, I hope, in other sessions in the future, also the Matthew effect. In any case, I don't see any question at the moment. So we move now to Martina Zeleňáková. So Martina, I give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rita, very much for introduction. And let me provide you through my personal research career with pointing out the gender dimension in my research, personal research and teaching activities. So looking at the situation at Technical University of Košice, they are 32% of researchers which are female, and they are 36% of teachers at Technical University that are the female. I am personally from Faculty of Civil Engineering, and there is a situation a little bit better. Female are 46% of the staff, but it is mainly because of Institute of Environmental Engineering, as I am member of. I will show you the information about my personality you can find at the ResearchGate or Web of Science or other database. I have started my personal career like research and scientist and teacher in 1999 by graduating this technical university. And 1 year or 2 years after, I have maybe the most difficult task in my research life. And I have to teach a group of 17 Kuwaitian students. They were almost all older than me. So it was really quite difficult because also the subject hydromechanics that I have to taught was very complicated and new one for me. But after that, I received some extra money that I use for the holiday at Greece. And here I noticed and I realized that I would like in the future to spend my life like researcher, scientist, and I like to travel a lot and present all my knowledge. That's why I was searching for a project, because for research and for the science and for the traveling, you need the money. So I obtained the national project and international project. But at the moment I was married and my first child was born. So I have to wait 2 years at maternity leave. And then I attend my first international conference. From this conference on Malta, I have some contacts from US Army Corps of Engineers and from Lisbon University in Portugal. And I starting my cooperation with partners at international projects. Then I attend many international conferences. I being a member of science committee at these conferences. I have many lecturers at the universities, mainly through the program Erasmus worldwide, in India, in Egypt, in Western Michigan University. And I do my research work and also education by preparing summer school for students. Also, like a civil engineer, I have to have the professional activity. And it was, I think, my most hardest exam and test in my career, to be at the construction site and to manage the workers. Although I did it only a few times, it was really the high and complicated work for me. Finally, here is the outputs of my research work. I prepare more than 500 scientific papers at the conferences and published in the journals. Also the books. I was managing about 20 projects and I did also the expert work. And all this with my happy family, with my son, with my daughter, without dog yet, because the dog also needs some careless. And I think that all the women or any woman can be successful in research and in the science, even with the family, and any woman can be successful in teaching engineering subjects and also doing professional expert work. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. So I will try now to share my video because there is the short video.
My name is Alena Galajdová. I am full professor in machine and process control. My current research activities are focused on automation with application to health and services. I entered the world of science and technology, specifically in my case, electrical engineering and later on biomedicine and automation, at times when it was not so common for girls and women. However, I have never regretted this decision, as time has shown that it is an area where I can fulfill my potential and creativity to the fullest. I love scientific research because science and technology are not boring. It's fun, often a big challenge. It's an area that never stagnates, and it forces a person to advance and progress. Scientific research provides freedom and is a bit mysterious. Really useful for my career is to not give up on first failure. When working in science, you will achieve a feeling of self-satisfaction because you leave behind concrete and tangible results, which keep you moving forward and prove that you are capable of doing it. Today, more than in the past, the question is no longer whether a scientist's career is for a woman or not. It is about cooperation as well as the openness of the mind. We still have only few women in automation, so my message to a young girl interested in science is believe in yourself, ignore stereotypes in your work. There really is nothing in science that a woman cannot do successfully. Science is not just a career, it is a lifestyle. And finally, science is more beautiful with women.
So we have had two women speaking from the same university, but saying similar things in terms of passion and interest toward the topic. So I would like to ask maybe first Susana and then Martina, the first question that we emphasized in the description of this event. So what are the strategies helpful in integrating this sex/gender dimension in research and also in teaching, if possible? Do you have some examples, or do you think some strategies are more effective than others, or do you see particular difficulties in some approaches? Susana, maybe you want to be the first to...
I must confess that I am absolutely convinced that there's only one kind of a science, good science, okay? And when you do well protocols and you work with rigor, you have good science. And the other science is bad science. Okay, a science and technology without 1/2 of the population, the women, is bad science, because the talent needs don't have sex, don't have gender. And the questions are so important that it is real a responsibility. Don't use this half of talent of the humanity that is the women's talent. Then, for me, in my opinion, it's very important show to the girls, the very, very young girls, that the questions are directed to them too, to the girls too. And the way to answer these questions and to solve these problems is in the way of looking for these studies in a science. Then, in my opinion, a very important strategy is working in the first levels of education. It's very important that university look to the future of our group of students and go to the school to show, as the speaker from Italy show, go to the school showing to the girls, so beautiful, how we enjoy doing our work and how wonderful is working in a science and in technology. I think that the most effective way to do this, and showing how women are doing this work before, because you need to have this kind of examples. For example, in our initiative that I saw you in Matilda, is in this way, to showing to all the students that women do a science and do good a science.
Thank you. And Martina, would you like to add something on this topic?
I can. In general, the men and women are completely different. We know the situation. We know how women are. It's talking that women are from Venus and men are from Mars. And they are completely different, and they have also the different thinking, different imagination. But if they are solving the things together, and if they are doing research and science together, so they contribute the both, from the both sides, from the side of the empathy and like feelings, and from the men's side, and men view like engineering and technical. And if they join it together, it's working very well. And also in the teaching activities, if you have boys and girls, you have to also in collaboration, you have to cooperate like they are equal. But anyway, anyone can contribute with something special.
Thank you so much. And in the meanwhile, if someone has questions, of course, raise your hands and we'll give you the floor. And I continue with the second question, because the first question was about, let's say, engendering the research and the teaching. And the second question is about the other aspect that is considered very important at international level, and also the European Union is really pressing very much on this numerical balance, on this respecting the gender balance and diversity in research teams. So maybe this time we start with Martina, if you have something to say about this. I mean, I was surprised when I went on the website of university you work in, and it's really impressive to see these 8 female names, one after the other, in a department where usually we find almost always men. But of course, you explained why, the reason for this, but still, I suppose you have other comments to make about this, because I suppose in your university, maybe there are other departments where the balance is not yet full.
Yeah, it is what I mentioned already, that we are technical university. And for example, Faculty of Civil Engineering or Mechanical Engineering, it is usually connected with the power. Yeah, that's why also the reason that there are more men, because there is necessary really the manpower to do some activities in the laboratory and so on. So that's why it is the reason that maybe more men are involved in the research. But anyway, the women are better in the, I don't know how to interpreting the results and in the interpreting thinking. So that's why it is important to connect women and to connect the men in the research, because men are usually doing the technical work. Yeah, they are more clever and more better in the technician things. But the women know how to publish usually, how to write, how to speak about, because they, as I mentioned, they put also feelings to their works. So should be balanced in both sides. Maybe Susana will add something.
Yes, please, Susana.
Well, the data reveals that the glass ceiling is a fact. When you see the numbers, it's clear that the women, the career of women has problem to be the responsible of the group, to be the first researchers in the teams, etc., etc. Because science and technology is just a reflection of the society, and in the society, women are fighting to have this relevant post in the society. Then is a social effect very interesting that could be related with the effect of Martina, is that if you have an example, you feel that it's possible to do it. It's for the reason that it's very, very important to communicate the success of women in a science, because you must believe that you can to try to do this. Then, in my opinion, we must fight to re-equilibrate the situation and don't wait to the natural evolution of the society to break the glass ceiling. Is a decision, because as I told you in my presentation, several decisions is necessary that we have implicated the government, the institution, the university, and all the levels of take this decision by law. Because the idea, the very strong idea, is that women are good doing this work, and we have to do this work together, men, women, whenever your gender is. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yeah, sure. And so we move to the third question. And in the 80s and at the beginning of the 90s, the approach related to the topic women, not gender, at that time was women and science, was very much that of fixing somehow the women, with this image that the scientific world was okay as it was, but simply women had to modify their attitudes, their knowledge, their behaviors to fit in this world. And now the times has passed by, we are in another century, and now the approach is more oriented toward modifying the system, modifying the structure, and there is a general acknowledgement of the fact that this neutrality of science was not so neutral, and so the approach nowadays are completely different. My question is, have you noticed in your career this shift? I ask to both of you and also to Mauro maybe this time. Have you noticed something changing, or in the actual work in a scientific department, this shift is not so evident, and maybe we are still oriented toward fixing the women, and that's it?
After we talked in the last days, Rita, I made some statistics on my department, which are not available, are not published somewhere on the website, but I counted one by one all the people in my department, and my find was that in our department of informatics, bioengineering, robotics, and systems engineering, hard work, we have 52 male researchers against 20 female. I thought, no, not bad. When I made the percentage, it is 72 against 28. It is impressive. And this my very, very narrow point of observation also shows that most women are young researchers, which are enriching our research staff in the last years. And the full professors are mostly men. But full professors are persons which are about at their retirement date. So this is the effects from the past policies and the past society. I see it in a positive way. Since I'm talking, I have an observation on what Susana and Martina said before, stating that women are more talented in empathy, in writing things. In my own experience, all the times that I have participated in some projects with the industry from the university side, I had to talk with the chief, which was a woman. And I found a great talent in organization, in scheduling, in making men respect their deadlines. These also are a talent in these activities. Also, women are more talented, in my opinion, with respect to men.
Susana or Martina, you wish to add something to?
Yeah, yes, Susana. I think that we are see how start to goes a new way of leadership. You know, I think that maybe we are trying to build a new way to make a team working together, and maybe if we have to change our mind and start to thinking in person who do the work and person who take care to each other. That is quite different of the strong hierarchy of previous teams of work, okay? Then maybe it was a very good opportunity to do a new way of working together, I think so. Maybe Martina has to say something more.
Yeah, it is from historical point of view that women are sitting at home, they are cooking and taking care about the family, and the men are working. So it is historical point of view. We cannot have something against that. But in the present time, the women are also, we see that they can be successful in the research, in the science, in any other activity, and in any other job. So the woman can be successful. And I think that the success is very close to the time management. If you have very good time management, you can be the successful. And once I read a very interesting article about that the best managers are the women, because women have to have children, they have to do shopping, they have to do cooking, they have to do cleaning, they have to take care about the kids, and anyway, they have to work. So they are the best manager because they have the best time management, how to reduce the time during the day, complete everything. Yeah, I know it from my own experience that I was working when my kid was sleeping. And again, when in the afternoon, I started working when my kids slept in the evening. Yeah, and if you have this good management, you can be successful. And even women know that very well. And nothing against the men, because men are very important. We would be never without the men. We wouldn't be without the men. So I think that we have to be in balance. What is the motto of this session? Gender balance. And even any research, any education, any job, to be in balance. I know that hardworking job, for example, at the construction site should be a man. In the, I don't know, sociology should be a woman because it's preferable, but the most and the best solution is to be in balance.
Well, thank you. We are approaching the end of this session, and so I have a very last question, very quick question for all of you. And we know that in Ulysseus, we are promoting very much all what regards the citizens' involvement in the project, in its activities, in collaborating with our universities. So my last question is, what is, in your opinion, the advantage for citizens of a more balanced and diverse approach to science?
Just to start, is because Europe is made for person. Citizens are person, and we need all of them, women and men, to build this wonderful project that is Europe. Today, maybe we are starting in a historic structure of science, technology, and knowledge in general. And in this structure must be women and men.
Mauro or Martina, as you wish.
Only that I agree with the Susana, that we need the women and the men in balance, and all the citizens are very important because we need the public opinion to corrigate our activities in a best way.
Yes, I also fully agree, and I think that my presentation confirms this feeling. The important thing is to give opportunity to girls to not to believe that informatics or engineering is not for them.
Good. So I see that there are no questions, no further questions. So I wish to take the opportunity to thank the three speakers, and I do hope really to sit again with you virtually or in presence and continue this interesting debate. I know that the recording of the session will be made available to those who want to see it or see it again, or contact some of the speakers to ask more about their experience. Now in the last 2 minutes, I will share the video again, the screen again, to show the video created within Ulysseus a few months ago. I take the opportunity to thank all the participants, the three speakers, and please continue to follow the activities in Ulysseus related to gender equality, diversity, and inclusion. They will be published on the website, and you will be informed through the newsletter. So I show the video. Goodbye to all.
I love scientific research. You know, it is a mindset.
It is a lifestyle.
It constantly challenges me.
I get to discover new things, I get to express my ideas, and I work in a big team with people from all over the world.
That are up to sharing knowledge and creating new ideas.
It's a little bit like sports for the brains.
Everything learned is always a discovery, and I think that's priceless.
Science and technology are not boring, it's fun.
It's really challenging and exciting.
It's lovely and ambitious.
I entered the world of science and technology at times when it was not so common for girls and women.
Up to now, what has been really useful for my career is to get introduced to science,
to go my path and to follow it. That is useful for my career.
I always followed my gut feelings, but studying at the university has been determinant.
Time has shown that it is an area where I can fulfill my potential and creativity to the fullest.
Now I can combine research with teaching and supervision.
Sometimes you have to accept ambivalence.
You might take the wrong path in your research and you need to come back all the way.
We are all humans, so we all make mistakes sometimes.
Nevertheless, it is a special point of view to the world.
You are never wrong, there is no failure per se.
So don't give up.
Ask questions.
There are no stupid questions, only stupid answers.
Every failure is an opportunity to learn.
Concentrate on the process, not on the goal.
My message to a young girl is to be strong, to be proud.
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, because you can.
There really is nothing in science that a woman cannot do successfully.
There are no boundaries in what is possible.
Reach your dreams.
Be curious, stay curious, and never give up.
I will encourage you to get into the scientific world.
Do not hesitate, seize the opportunity in front of you, follow your intuition, and be confident.
I believe in you, you can do it, and it is your life.
So join us and be part of this amazing experience.
I hope you enjoyed this wonderful and stimulating and exciting video. So thanks you all for participating. See you soon somewhere.